We're talking the 22 Creedmoor and an awesome rifle build from Maniacal Arms with Todd Bonura.
Hey, I'm KJ, dedicated lifelong hunter here. If you got an interest in all things hunting, you're in the right spot. Whether chasing quail across the plains of Oklahoma or in pursuit of elk in the backcountry of British Columbia, you'll always find me on the hunt.
Gun Talk Hunters, I'm your host KJ, and today in studio we've got Todd Bonura of Maniacal Firearms, Maniacal Arms.
Yeah.
Firearms, arms, all the same.
All the same.
We're going to get into a conversation, but this episode is brought to you by Ruger, Range Ready Studios, and EOTech. All right, to start out everything, I do an AI-generated poem about our host, and usually it involves a random animal and a random fruit, maybe sometimes a vegetable. I don't know why it came up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is what it came up for Todd Bonura. In the bayous where the cypress lean lives Todd Bonura, machine so keen. With maniacal hands and craftsman's pride, he builds the truth no gun can hide. Steel and spirit, bolt and breech, his shots fly truer than a Georgia peach. Through the wind and rain, through dusk and dawn, his rifles hum a deadly song. A beaver watches from the cypress roots as lead flew clean in tailored boots. It tipped its hat, if beavers do, to the man whose aim cuts clean and true. From Cajun earth and fire refined, Todd sculpts precision, one of a kind. Maniacal, sure, but make no mistake, there's art in every gun he makes. Dude,
And that's AI generated.
That's AI generated.
Wow. Even the reference to Georgia peach. I was born in Georgia.
I
What's
did
the
not
deal
know
with
that.
I know, but it did apparently.
Wow,
There's
that
something.
is weird.
That's Skynet.
Skynet. Yeah, this is the early stages.
Yeah.
No, like I don't know how we got onto this. I was like, oh, I wonder what it'll do, what it'll kick out. And I think the first one was like there was a kumquat and I don't know, some other animal, an animal. But it's wild what it can do.
Yeah.
And it's really wild what cartridges. This is a great segue. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. It's a great segue because it's wild what cartridges are coming out and what we're building off of. You know, it starts with one and it leads to another. And you're one of those guys, I feel like, that's always like, what's possible with whatever the flavor of the week is.
Yeah, and I mean, and you know too, it's like, look, a lot of credit to the guys at Horizon, right? Because they really brought this 22 Creedmoor up to light and to speed. And everybody, you know, but it's relatively new to everyone else. They don't realize how long they've been working on it, right? And then now that Hornady's on board, of course.
Well, now it's just mass producing it.
Yeah, right.
Like everybody, that's what everybody's talking to because Hornady is they make great stuff. They are a great marketing tool for rounds.
They are one of the best.
Yeah.
They are one of the best.
I would say they're probably pretty dang close to the best because I don't see many. When they grab hold of a cartridge or they create something new, like, you know, the 22 ARC or the 6.5 or what, the PRC. I mean, the PRC cartridges. They bring those to light and they're really able to shine a good light on them.
And, you know, and even like that, like the 6.5 PRC, when Hornady came out with it, I was like, well, we've had a 6.5 Psalm.
Right.
But it wasn't, you know, you had to hand load, you had to do all these other things for it. And they brought it into the light where it's like, now it's
a thing.
It's very, very prolific.
Yeah.
Everybody really likes that cartridge. And at first I was like, you know, because I love 6.5 284.
Right.
But then I'm like, man, it's like the more of them I build and shoot, and then you pair them with that factory ammo. You know what I mean? It's like these, that's what brought me to these is I had a couple customers say they wanted them built.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, well. And then, so every time I didn't have the reamer. So obviously I'm going to go study up a little bit, see what's going on, twist rates and, you know, all this stuff. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty interesting. I'm like, I wonder what I could get out of that. Like, you know, these guys want to shoot factory or whatever. And I'm like, that's pretty interesting. So, so I'll go ahead and throw me one together while I'm doing theirs, you know.
That's funny is that you start building your own. You're like, okay, when I know it's really good when you start building your own gun.
Well, right. And, the more I kept looking at it and reading about it, I'm like, man, the guys at Horizon, they're shooting black bear with them at 450, and I'm like,
with a 22 Creedmoor.
yes, they have YouTube videos of it. So then you start reading into ballistics and
Right.
all that stuff. And, if you paired it, because I always thought a 6 Creedmoor was really a better hunting cartridge than a
Right.
6.5.
Okay.
Because it's a little more speed to it. So, and speed equals energy, right?
Right.
But then when you look at this and you compare it to a 6 Creedmoor, let's say they're running the same weight bullet,
Okay.
an 80 grain.
80 grain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Out to 1,000, the 22 retains more energy and speed because of the sleekness of the bullet.
Okay.
So
your BC, you get a better BC out of it.
Yeah, and at 400 yards, I mean, I don't have it written down, but I mean, it was pretty substantial difference in
Really?
foot pounds between a 6 and a 22. And when I seen that, I was like, wow, I mean, to not have much recoil,
Right.
because a lot of guys really always go to bigger, heavier guns, but then they don't shoot them as well.
Right.
When you have something that doesn't recoil much, when you squeeze that trigger and it's right there, I mean, shot placement is a big part of stuff too,
It is. I mean,
and look, I still love the big ones. I mean, me, I got
a
300 Norma improved, and I shoot a lot of stuff with it too, because something can't be too dead. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, can't be too dead.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
And shot placement is huge on everything. But when you're talking about like a 22 Creedmoor as opposed to like a 6mm Creedmoor, I think what a lot of guys are a little bit fearful of, especially if they shoot a lot. Most guys probably will not shoot this gun enough to burn out barrels. No. But barrel life, since it's overboard, like you would think that would play a role in someone's decision, because I am taxed right now because I want to build a gun.
Right.
I want to build a new one, and now I'm taxed between, well, do I shoot a 22 Creedmoor or do I go with a 6mm Creedmoor? Like, so I have to think about barrel life, because I'm like, well, what if I want to shoot this in a match?
I think from what I've read and looked at, it should be close to the same if you stay off of it.
Right.
You're
not pushing those pressures, and you're not pushing those speeds to.
I am. I'm trying. I want to see what it'll do. So I'm
what
always
will it
trying.
Do? What is the 22 Creedmoor capable of?
So
with reloading,
with hand loads, I've gotten with 85.5 grain burgers, I've got 36-15 out of it.
Good gosh.
Yeah. And grouping pretty decent. Yeah, I mean it's a lot, but I mean I always want to see how far it'll go, and then some. Then you back off that, because it may not always shoot the greatest at the fastest you can run it, right? And the other day I used some 77 Match Kings in it,
right?
And we went to probably 35-75 with it, but 4 different powder charges, all shot 2-shot one-hole groups at 100.
Really?
And but the highest powder charge just got a little separation. Not in the holes were touching, but it wasn't like the other ones.
Right.
So that kind of told me that we're starting to speed it up a little too fast, right? So we come back a little bit on it, and then it should be good. But now I want to put 52s in it. Some 52 grain Match Kings and see where they go.
I mean,
the problem that I'm running into is I'm running out of case capacity.
You're stuffing it in. Yeah, now that's
that's
the Chris Sereno method of reloading, right?
Just fill it up,
fill the case up, and then press it in.
I've crushed powder.
I mean, I don't mind like crushing some powder every once in a while, but like there's a danger to that.
Well, it will. Yeah, I mean, and you always have to work up on stuff like that slow.
Yeah,
in small increments, and always pay attention to brass and primers and stuff. I mean,
no way Chris does that.
Really? Yeah, that's.
Oh no,
we need to talk to him about that.
Yeah. Well, he just goes in there and he knows what he likes, and he's just like, I just fill it to the top.
What was crazy is those Match Kings the other day when I put them in, I just picked a seating depth because I was just pressure testing it just to see what it would hold.
Yeah.
And they all shot really good right there.
Really.
But the the Hornady, I've shot match and precision hunter out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And with those, you know, we're a 22-inch barrel here. So
Yeah.
I just finished another one for a guy that's a 24-inch.
Okay.
So we're going to do a little bit with that. He'll let me shoot a little bit before I hand it over to him. But the first one I did was a 22-inch, and that guy tried 4 different powders, 5 different projectiles, and he called me up and said he had a problem with it. And I was like, well, what's the problem? And he said, well, I can't get it to shoot bad. Everything's under 1/2 inch. And I'm like, well, that's a good thing.
Well,
He's like,
yeah, that's a great thing.
Yeah, he goes, well, I'm bringing you another action today. I want to build another one. And I was like, okay. I mean, I've built.
One is good, 2 is better.
Yeah, I guess, you know, and
especially if you find something that shoots and something that works.
Yeah, and he likes to shoot. He goes on the weekends and shoots a lot. And I mean, I built him a 6 arc last year, and he took it to Texas and killed 7 deer with it.
No kidding.
Yeah, you know, I mean, and people wouldn't really think of that 6 arc as being a hunting cartridge, but you know, high shoulder shot at 2,800 feet a second.
Yeah,
with a 105 or a 108, that's
gonna anchor them.
Yeah,
that's fine.
That's death. Yeah,
and because one of my favorite cartridges of all time is a 22-250.
Right.
I mean, and for me and deer, like that, a high shoulder shot, anchor them. You might have to put one more in them.
That's what kind of got me on that. When I started looking at it, everybody was comparing it to it, going, well, is this going to be better than the 22-250? And I'm like, man, that's a tall order.
It is a tall order because it's a traditional round.
Right.
And see, that's where I get in today's like cartridge designs and what we're able to do, because the technology is just simply better.
Bullets have came so much farther than what even case, and then I mean, now with the backcountry, that's a case design that we haven't seen in a long ever.
That peak alloy stuff.
Yeah, so that's changing the game there. You know, that's a good but guns and all that haven't really came that far. But bullet, the design and the bullets,
construction of them,
the construction has gotten. So now if you can shoot something small that's light recoil.
Well, think of what it does for youth shooters. Like it eliminates a lot of the problems they develop, shooting at a young age and a little bit recoil adverse to now there is no recoil. They see their shots. They know where they're hitting.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Oh, it's huge. But are we nosing out like some of the traditional cartridges? Because it's my fear. Like I love the 22-250. I've got like 5 of them in my safe because I love them so much. Right. Are we nosing those out?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's always going to be. I think that's one of the beauties of rifles is that there is really no one and done perfect for everything cartridge, right? I think that there's, you're obviously not going to take a 22 Creedmoor and go moose hunting with it.
Right.
Now,
don't tell Tyler Friel that.
Now, technically,
because he will go do it.
You could if you want to get up in there close with them and you running them at some high speeds with the right bullets, but it's just not. It's not the choice for that application.
You know what? I think Tyler Friel did shoot his moose either this year or last year with a 22 Creedmoor.
I want to have seen something about that too.
I think he did.
I may have seen that.
And I've seen Tyler shoot. He is excellent. He spends a lot of time developing loads, but I want to say he did.
Yeah, I mean, even bullet. Like we're talking about bullet construction. I mean, me and a buddy of mine, where my range is at his house. We have 500 yards here in Louisiana. That's a long ways, right?
That's a long ways.
And we both hunt a lot. Both his sons hunt. Right. So we test we try things, right? Yeah. Just shooting does or whatever, hogs, whatever it may be, to see how they operate,
how they function.
Yeah, how they function. And we got on the solids a couple years ago, and we liked them, but then there's some limits to them too. Yeah. The solids, if you run them too fast, they just zip through, and there's no blood trails and stuff.
There's a happy medium that you
there is. So there's always like and the same thing's going to be with this. I mean, now would that 36-15, that burger be the one to hunt with? Probably,
maybe.
I would try. I would probably try it on a hog coming up here pretty soon. But we'll
tonight,
see, just to see what it'll do. I've always kind of shot like the match kings and match bullets at animals. Everybody kind of shies away from them, but.
let's take a break here and let's continue the bullet construction because Todd is really big into factory loads out of his guns first. That's how he tests everything.
Yeah.
Like everything's held up to a standard and it's factory loads. Like
Because everybody doesn't hand load.
Right.
You know,
Everybody doesn't hand load. So
right.
if that gun can shoot factory loads good, I mean, why not shoot that?
And that's one of the reasons why I like the Hornady stuff.
I know.
The match, the Precision Hunter.
Yeah.
You know, the Nosler Trophy grade is good stuff. Norma's making some pretty good box ammo
Yes, they
that
are.
I've seen shooting out of guns that I went by a guy's place to shoot with him, and I built him a 6.5 PRC.
Yeah.
When I shot Precision Hunter out of it, and it, you know, wadded him up. It shot great at 500.
No kidding.
And then I went to his house, and he's like, "Oh, you need to shoot my rifle." And I said, "Oh, I zeroed it for you. I built it. I shot it." And he goes, "No, I want you to shoot this ammo." And it was some Norma, like 140 grain, tipped, you know, hunting rounds. I don't even remember the name of them offhand, but I shot 3 of them almost touching at 220.
No kidding.
It was his distance at his range at his house, and I was like, "Holy cow!" So I have some pictures of the boxes on my thing. And I'm like, I put some of those in the shop. When people buy those rifles, I like to have ammo around that I know shoots good in them. You know, we always have Hornady stacked up in there.
Oh yeah, you do. All right, we're gonna take a break real quick. We'll be right back.
You ever wish your hunting rifle had an optic so compact and tough it could probably survive a bar fight? Well, meet the EOTech Voodoo 3-9 by 32. At just 6.8 inches, this little beast is built from aircraft-grade aluminum because regular aluminum is for soda cans. It's fog-proof, waterproof, shockproof, basically life-proof. You get crisp second focal plane precision, cap turrets that won't get bumped out of zero, and an illuminated reticle with 10 brightness settings. And the best part? It's got an integrated base that plays nice with mini ACOG mounts. So yeah, it's short, it's sharp, and it's ready to make you feel like a marksman of legend. The Voodoo 3-9 by 32, because your rifle deserves better than good enough.
It's time to prepare for the shot of a lifetime. Whether you're a seasoned hunter or new to the sport, preparation is key. I preach it all the time. At Range Ready Studios, we offer the training you need to make that shot of a lifetime. Chris Serino is on staff, and he has a host of instructors on hand to provide personalized trainings in state-of-the-art facilities and practical exercises that build your confidence and skills. From precision marksmanship to quick target acquisition, we've got you covered. Don't leave your success to chance. Visit rangereadystudios.com to learn more.
The Ruger Precision Rimfire, or as the cool kids call it, the RPR. This beast has a heavy contour barrel, a Ruger Precision Rifle muzzle brake to tame recoil like a well-trained hunting dog, and an adjustable trigger that's smoother than your best pickup line at the bar. Need versatility? The multi-mag interface lets you run mags from AICS to Magpul style so you can stop hoarding magazines like a doomsday prepper. Plus, with a fully adjustable buttstock, this rifle fits you better than your favorite pair of hunting boots. Bottom line, if you want long-range accuracy, smooth operation, and durability built into one serious rifle, get yourself an RPR.
All right, we're back with Todd Bonura of Maniacal Arms. And I write out of Covington, Louisiana. So, and I think it's a great time to plug your Instagram account because, dude, you're posting all the time, like the guns that you're building at the time.
I should be posting more, but I'm just kind of old.
You're kind of busy.
He's
old and busy.
It just takes me so long because I'm not good at it.
What I need to do is I just need to run up there once a week and film what you're doing, and then I'll post it for you.
You know, we started I opened a YouTube channel because we wanted to do some stuff like that every week, like maybe on Monday, like Maniacal Monday.
Yeah.
You know, what are we going to do this week, or what did we do last week? Whatever. But one of the problems I have with that too is that, especially with our paint and our builds, I don't ever post stuff out to on social media until the customer gets it in their hands. I like them to be the first. Yeah. You know, and then
because that's personal, like that's theirs.
Yeah, and I mean, and two. I get a lot of satisfaction from that, of their reaction and their, you know, their liking of the whatever it is, whether it's a Cerakote job or a custom build. That means a lot to me.
Yeah.
So I never post it or send them pictures. Guys will tell you, they say, "Oh man, well send me a picture of it. I can't get there till next week." I'm like, I don't do that. I'm sorry. And they're like, oh, you post them all over social media. I'm like, it'll be after you get it.
Yeah. I mean, that's a fair way to do it. And I like that policy. It's a good one to have. But we were talking a little bit about, so anyway, Maniacal Arms, go give them a look over on Instagram. I love their stuff. Because I have a couple of the guns myself. And I'm about to build another, or Todd's about to build me another one.
I actually talked with Wooks yesterday, and we built your rifle for a build box a couple seasons ago on a Wooks chassis. And I was talking to the gal yesterday, and she said, well, look, let us know when you get it together and post it, because we'll repost it for you.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I really appreciate that. I said, you know, y'all reposted one of my other rifles that I built for the host of Gun Talk, and or build box, and it really went over good. I got a lot of traction from it. And she goes, oh my goodness, that's you? And I'm like, that's us. Yeah. And she's like, you don't know how many times I've sent that video to people of that gun. Yeah. She's like, I know 3 different guys out, because I think she's in Arizona. She's like, I know 3 different guys out here that have copied that gun or tried to copy it because of how cool
there's
it looked.
No way. There's no way you can copy that gun. There is a way. He did copy it because
they wanted it. Yeah.
And they wanted it.
But I called you first.
You did.
I did.
Well, and it's not exactly the same.
It's not.
It's a little bit different.
A little different. Yeah.
Because you have a unique touch on every single gun you put out, and I think if you're looking to get a gun built or tune a gun up even.
Yeah. Rebarrels. I mean, we do a lot of that.
You do.
Right now, it's springtime. I bet I've been doing 4 or 5 optic mounts on shotguns a week.
No kidding.
Yeah, and then a lot of times they'll get Cerakote done too. Like I did one this morning before I came here.
Really?
Yeah.
See,
because that's big now.
See, my thing
is in Louisiana.
Man, you got to be doing the stuff that you're wanting in the fall. You got to be doing it. I would say good time in March. In April,
right?
Are the time to get it in because you get booked up.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
Closer you get to hunting season, guys are like, "Oh crap, I meant to do that."
Well, it's always out of your mind until it gets that time, And then too, it's always like June, July is always barren because because that's time when you take vacation. Kids are out of school, you take vacation with the family, all that stuff, and it's like. You go drop a deposit on a custom rifle, your wife's like,
what did you
slapping
do?
You on the back of the neck because you're supposed to go to Disney World.
Oh, I hope my wife doesn't listen to this.
Or hopefully
podcast.
Not Disney World, but somewhere else cool.
somewhere unique. Don't get me started on the flight to Orlando. From anywhere in the country, if you're going to Orlando and you're on a flight, maybe it's for business, maybe you're going to the ICAST show or just visiting family. But every flight to Orlando sucks.
It's like an hour from here, too. Like an hour and 15 minutes from here, and it still sucks.
Because it's all kids.
I know.
It's all kids, and you're just going, please let me have parents that give a shit.
Well, you just got to put the headphones
That's what I hope. Yeah.
Turn it up.
Yep. Sunglasses on, shields up.
Yeah.
Everything.
Right. No doubt.
Like, it's July, and you're wearing a hoodie. Yeah, because I don't want to interact with
Are you ready to turkey hunt? You turkey hunt?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We just launched a turkey episode the other day. I need to show you because I have a little call keeper, like it's like a call keeper that I have, and it's I put mouthwash in it and a little water. Yeah. And dude, it keeps the calls fresh, and when I pull them out, it freshens my breath a little bit.
Your buddy's truck.
Yeah. Right exactly. On. So wow, what a great side quest. So we were talking about 22 Creedmoor and like box ammunition. We were starting to talk about that and the standards that you hold your guns to be able to shoot those very precisely.
Yeah.
Actually, that was the one time that I've ever outshot Chris Sereno was with the gun that you built him. You chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. He took it from 308 to 6.5. And I outshot him, and I shot probably the best group I'll ever shoot. It's just outside one hole group.
Right.
5 shots.
With factory
ammo.
Yeah.
And so why do you hold the guns to that standard? Is production ammo better than it has been, or?
Yeah, absolutely. They're definitely making it better now than they used to, 10, 15 years ago for sure. Yeah. I mean, they, when you look at like the other day when I shot this with box match ammo, 7 shots with an SD of 9.
Yeah.
that's pretty tight for
Yeah.
factory loaded ammo, you know, because even like in PRS, we were always looking for single digit, you know,
Yeah.
we're hand loading, we're looking for single digit stuff.
Yeah.
That's what we're shooting for.
Your SDs, you want,
we
yeah.
want your SDs in single digits, you know, because then when you dial a scope, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the two, I'm about to build a third one of the 22 with a box ammo from Hornady. I've seen some 1 3/4 groups at 500.
At 500 yards.
With 3 shots, yeah.
Really?
Yep. Yeah. The 6 arc, too.
Okay.
Seen a lot with that ammo. Is like the guy I built it for, he's trying to hand load for it. And I'm like,
why?
It at 100 yards, it'll shoot 8 of them in the same hole with Hornady match. And at 500, it's 1 1/4, 1.5 inches, 5.
Yeah.
And that's not exaggeration.
Right.
Pictures and stuff, you know.
Oh no, I get the pictures.
And it's like
he's like, look what I did.
And it's like, how do you know? Why? Now, granted, like with the 6 arc, you know, the factory offerings are meant for gas gun,
right?
So I have to keep the pressures down. So technically, there is a little more room there if you hand load to squeeze a little more performance out of it, for sure.
Okay.
Right? As all is, but with that especially because they can't make one for bolt and one for gas because some goofball put the bolt gun stuff in his gas gun and lock it up and then cry about it to Hornady, you know,
but they do. So, hey, here's a question for you. So, you've got the 22 Creedmoor, you've got a 22 Arc. Like, why? Like, where's the difference there? Is it like 400 feet per second type deal with the 22 Arcs, just running a little bit slower?
Well, the ones I did were 6. I did a
you
gas
did 6
gun.
Arc.
Yeah, I did a gas gun for a guy with the 22 that went to Georgia.
Okay.
About a month and a half ago or whatever. A Predator, you know, you learned it for shooting coyotes and stuff. And we did a thermal on it and stuff. And it was around the same speeds as the 6s are, you know, in like the 2,700 feet per second range. But I think it's going to end up being similar to like comparing the 6 to the 22 Creedmoor.
Right.
Right. I think because of the bullet, the BC of the bullet and the sleekness of it, it's just going to carry. I mean, this thing here the other day when I was shooting factory with it, which the factory I'm getting with a 22-inch barrel, I'm getting like right at 2,200 feet a second.
Okay.
With Hornady match. 100 yard 0, 500 yards was 1.7
really
mils. And then
mils.
Yeah, and then with the hand load stuff I was doing, it was like 1.3.
Good God.
To get to 500. I mean, what is that for? 3.
I mean, because when
15 inches?
you're talking, you know, like a 6.5 Creedmoor, you're looking at 3. So you're cutting it in half almost. And 22 Creedmoor is a neck down.
Same cartridge.
Yeah.
Neck down.
That's so. Can you shoot this like so beyond the varmint and whitetail, and according to Tyler Friel, which I believe him, like moose hunting, like what 22 Creedmoor, what are you able to get away with like in competition? Because NRL Hunter, which is what I would love to shoot it at, I've got to look at the regs, but I'm pretty sure like it'll meet power factor, but it won't meet. It will not meet power factor if you're hand loading. No. But if you're shooting factory loads, power factor doesn't matter.
Oh, well then, yeah.
So
that match ammo is pretty. I mean, I wouldn't be scared to shoot a match with that stuff.
No, I've been. You know? That's all I shoot matches with is factory ammo, and it's all. I shot a match. Did not finish well. Okay, but it's not the ammo's fault. It's not the gun's fault. It's my fault. But when it was not windy, I was shooting Hornady blim ammo.
Right.
And it was great.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and there's always that question, like, you know, or that statement, like I want a gun that shoots this, right?
Right.
That can shoot good groups out to 1,000. You know, let's just say minute gun at 1,000, sub-minute gun at 1,000, or even 500, right? But you can build it that way, and all the equipment can match up to that. But there's still one factor of it that plays into that, and that's that human factor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I tell guys all the time, I can't come squeeze the trigger for them. You
No.
know?
You got to spend time behind that gun, and
right.
you got to get intimate with it.
But I feel like with something like this versus a big Magnum cartridge. Now, look, I feel like this is. I know Tyler did kill some at least with it. To me, it's like a mule deer down kind of cartridge, right? And then respectively, probably out to about 500.
Yeah,
would kind of start maxing it out. I think
put your limits on it
with factory stuff. I mean, just because, I mean, you still have to, I don't know. Ethical hunting is a big discussion among a lot of people, and some people feel like shooting anything, no matter what you're shooting at them at 1,000 yards, is not ethical.
Right.
But I feel like ethical is dependent on the individual, right?
Yes.
If you know what your limits are and you study your cartridge and you know what your energy at what distance you're producing, that's kind of where I start. I got in a situation on my first bull ever in Colorado years ago, had a 7 RSOM. And I knew with the bullets I was shooting was pretty much maxed out for a bull at about 700 yards, 725.
Yeah.
And a bull walks out at 850. And this guy's going, you can make that. You shoot competition.
You're like, I can.
And I could have hit that bull with it. I'm almost certain of it. But I didn't even try because I felt like that wouldn't be fair to the game, right? But
half a step.
That's where my line was drawn that day.
Yeah.
But then I went back to the shop, built a 28 nozzler, and said, next time that
won't happen.
So
that's funny. I'll build something bigger that'll carry that energy. I mean,
that was the point,
Well, I mean, when you talk about energy in the 6.5 or 6 millimeter, as opposed to a 22 Creedmoor, what range is best for that? Like, is it the kind of the similar?
If you compare them. And I think I'm don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure it was Horizon that has a video on YouTube of a comparison of drop charts of each,
right? With
foot pounds, energy, drop at the distances, and it's at 400, it's definitely doing better still,
right?
And even out to 1,000, it was still maybe 100 feet per second faster than the 6. Running equal weight bullets.
Right.
And then, maybe 80 or so foot pounds.
Okay.
Still more. It's just carrying
it's carrying more. The BC's better, which translates into like your better velocities.
Yeah, you keep the speed going, then obviously speed equals energy.
Yep.
So if you keep the speed up, then the foot pounds is a little better too, right?
So all this to say I'm gonna be building a 22 Creedmoor.
I mean, look, if somebody doesn't buy that one, I'll hunt with that one this year. But I sold my hunting rifle last year, my regular deer rifle.
Yeah. So
the 6.5 284. So
the 6.5 284 is out. The 22 Creedmoor's in. That's what you're making a statement.
Because I want to be able to. I like to have that knowledge. You know what I mean?
Well, it's a real world.
Yeah, right. Because I can go shoot some hogs with it and stuff, but they're different than deer. And but and all my hog killing spots are all kind of close quarter anyway, so it's get to really
stretch its legs.
Yeah, get its legs on it.
So, I mean, we've been talking about this 22 Creedmoor that's on the desk in front of us, but we have not talked about a single element aside from the cartridge. So, what have you done to make this one unique and stand out? What have you included with all of it?
Well, I mean, as far as parts go,
yep.
So we've been building a fair amount on Mac Bros actions, especially this element.
That's fluted bolt.
Fluted bolt, split rail, recoil lug machined in. The rails are screwed and pinned. But I think it's like on a short action, it's like 19.6 ounces or something. It's pretty light for steel. Very, it has some stuff cut away from it.
Yeah, where
it's not doesn't need it. And they're all straight. So and they don't break the bank either. They get them in for under 1,000 for sure.
That's the biggest thing with an action, because I'm sitting here and I've got to purchase an action. Like that's the next step. That's the next step that I've got to do. And I'm like, I mean, you can go with an impact.
And see, like now, if I was going to build a match rifle. and I do build hunting rifles. I got a MBK
Yeah.
Impact at the shop right now that's going to have a 7 PRC built
Yeah.
on it. So, I mean, because I love impact
Oh
actions.
yeah. Oh yeah, they're great.
But a lot of times, like this rifle, because of it being a little more on the budget friendly side, when I build them, I try to keep them like that. So when someone does want to buy it, it's not super high end build. You know, we've been using these BSF barrels for a little while now. Every one of them that we've built so far shoots. I've had 1 or 2 of them that needed 30 or 50 rounds in it, and then they seem like they came into where they need to be.
Yeah.
But they've been nice, and they're not breaking the bank either.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I know there's a lot of different, like now it seems like carbon barrels, like there's a ton of them out there because it kind of started with Proof and Christensen Arms, really.
I use the Bartland carbons, you know, Brooks, or not Brooks, Benchmark makes a good carbon.
Helix 6, Carbon 6.
Carbon 6,
preferred barrels. I mean,
Carbon 6, I've used a bunch of them because they're right here in Louisiana.
Yeah.
You know, this was kind of built budgetly so that when guys come in, it doesn't
shock them.
Right. Because, well, we just recently did like this builder's wall at the shop where we have actions on display and barrels and stocks and chassis.
That's great.
So that guys can come in and like pick up an action and be like, oh, I like this, the way this feels, or feel how light it is instead of it being in a full rifle. You know, just so guys can check it out. Like in this can, I couldn't keep them in during hunting season. They're made by Mac Brothers as well. It's a Zenith titanium, short, light.
It's nice.
It comes with a brake or a cap on it, so it's good for hunting. You know, would I go shoot PRS match with it? I like my Maverick from 419 for that. You know, that's what I would shoot on my match rifle. But for a hunting rifle, short. Everybody's getting to these, like, they're wanting these barrels shorter and shorter. The MBK is going to be a 20-inch 7 PRC.
Really?
I just finished a 20-inch 6.5.
Yeah.
And then when I go shoot it with factory, it's like 2780 feet per second, but you're still taking that Magnum recoil off of it and all. And I put a brake on it for him, but then after he shot it, he was like, man, that thing's like a grenade going off. And I'm like, it's like loud. The difference between a 3-inch 357 and a 10-inch 357. Louder.
Dude, big difference there.
Right.
But you got a Collis on it.
Yeah, and that's one of my backup
Tech?
match rifles. Yep, Trigger Tech. Trigger, you know. Hopefully the tariff thing don't ruin that for everybody. You know, I mean, they're one of the only companies that of products we build with all the time that's not US made. They're Canadian. Yeah. But they have a facility now in the United States, a warehouse they're shipping to, and I think they're trying to get stuff going there to be building there as well. But
they've been really consistent. Man, the Trigger Techs have is one thing I've noticed over the years. Like they're just consistent. If you poll a large majority of
just don't mess
PRS and NRL, like it's very consistent.
And I like, look there, and that's not to say there isn't other good stuff out there. I mean, I like the Bix and Andes. I built with those that guys requested. Forever I put jewels and everything. Yeah. And then during COVID, things got hard for them and they couldn't keep it going, and
that's
now I have 3 left-handed jewels in my shop.
Really? Don't tell Ryan. He might buy one of them just in case.
I'm going to probably build him a rifle coming up anyway. So we'll.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. What's he building?
He hasn't said nothing, but I think I'm going to build something just to do some testing on because I'm interested in this new 7 backcountry.
See, that one gets me because I'm like, man, I almost want to see what it'll do out of an 18-inch barrel. Like, let's go real short. How short can we go?
Yeah, they're doing it. I mean, Horizon, those guys are doing it. They got a 16-inch when they're
really
pimping around. Yeah. I mean, and if you get, if you figure it's at this speed, then at 16 inches, maybe you're at 2,800 instead of 3,000. That's still a lot of standard rifles are that speed.
Man, it's kind of
308's what 26 something.
Yeah.
I mean that kills all over the world.
Jeez.
30-06, all those. But I have a barrel that someone ordered that they didn't use.
Really?
So I'm like, well, maybe I'll. And so I got a reamer in like 2 weeks ago. I'm going to build one because I want to just do some testing.
I mean, why not?
You know, and ammo has been pretty hard to get. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. I called you, and I actually picked some up yesterday. Or
you did?
2 days ago. Yeah, one of my wholesalers had some on allocation.
Oh, good.
So they were like, yeah.
Well, we have some on hand. Not a lot, but I mean, because it was hard to get.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
In the 7 backcountry.
Yeah.
I think that round will stick.
I hope so, because I think it's cool that because like we were talking about, like these guys really want short barrels because of hunting suppressed.
Right.
And look, I'm all for, I do what the customer wants. Right. And I try to help them along that path and say, well, you know, you're going to get this or that. Like that one, the barrel I have, I'm going to probably make it a 22 inch to start with. And then I'll just keep chopping down to just check some different speeds and stuff, because I'm always, man, me and my buddy that I shoot with all the time, you know, he likes speed too. He's got like 6.5 300 rum.
Oh, really?
We run some 124 solids in at 4,000 feet a second, stuff like that, just to see. You know, but I mean, he hunted with it.
Really?
Oh yeah, it kills. It kills.
Oh yeah, it does. Speed kills.
Yeah, but in Louisiana, you know, we're shooting 100-yard shots.
That's why I like going up to Oklahoma or Texas or out west. Like I can stretch the capabilities of what the round is used for. Like that's what its purpose is.
But I'm really interested in that peak alloy stuff. I mean, that's just because we haven't seen anything like that other than the SIG. What is it? 277 Fury. Yeah, that was kind of similar, but a little different. But yeah, it's
it's different.
Yeah,
but hard to come by apparently.
Right. I
mean,
well, and the thing I'm looking forward to that 7 backcountry, because I kind of got let down by the Valkyrie. Like because I happened to be.
I was thinking we were going to make it through this whole podcast without bringing up the 224 Valkyrie, but here we are.
That's why not why, but one of the reasons when I built this, I'm like, well, I got 5,000 224 bullets.
Yeah.
So I might as well build something to shoot them with, because I got them off of somebody that had a Valkyrie that didn't want to shoot it anymore, and I bought all their loading stuff.
The Valkyrie had a lot of promise. It really did.
And I actually I was in Baker at Core, and Jeremy Gillen was there, and he was shooting the prototype rifle in the first PRS match, like a 1-day match, to see how it would hold up, out to 1,000 as far as spotting hits and things like that. And then they actually used it as they had 2 guys tied that day, and they used it as the shoot off for the win.
Really?
Yeah. So I got to shoot it after the match was over and stuff. So I was super pumped on that. I'm like, man, I just got to shoot the first ever of this rifle that's out there and all this stuff. And then a customer came into the shop and wanted one built for like mid-range F class.
Right.
So I built him one, and then 8 months later he came in and said, I want to sell it. My wife's sick. He's an older guy. He said, my wife's sick, and I want to sell the gun. And I was like, well, what do you want for it? And when he told me, I was like, oh, because it was way less than what he had spent to build it. And I looked at it as a component too. I didn't really want to shoot it so much, but I'm like, well, it's got a Zermatt TL3, a Magpul chassis, like the good Magpul chassis, good barrel on it and all this. And I said, I'll buy that. And he goes, well, what about my loading stuff? Because I want to sell it too. So then we packaged it all in, and it was like 23 pounds of powder.
Oh, really?
5,000 projectiles, 10,000 primers, all the dies for the 224, all the stuff for it, and packaged it all in. So I've been sitting on all these 224s.
So there's a little resentment there.
So I got, and it was left-handed that I built for him, and my wife is left-eye dominant. So in my mind at the time, the way I justified it was, well, I'll buy it for her to shoot.
Yeah,
because she can shoot it left-handed.
That's what I do. Everything I buy is it's for my wife. Yeah, it's for her.
One of my buddies he's got a son that's 8 now.
Yeah,
and
he's buying a lot of guns for his 8-year-old, huh?
I just finished his 6th custom rifle for his 8-year-old.
No.
Yeah. And he probably started building them like 2 years ago or something.
No
like
kidding.
That. Yeah.
So you've been cranking them out.
Oh yeah.
He's been keeping you in business.
He bought like some company of used, not used, but new old stock of Remington 700s.
Yeah.
And just like a handful of old
Really?
barrels like that, like 12, 15 rifles.
Yeah.
He just bought them all different, shorts, longs, mags, 6.8, whatever,
Yeah.
or 223 bolt faces, all this stuff. He just brings them in and sits them down. He's like, okay, we put tape on them. And we go, this one's going to be this one's going to be that, this one's going to be this one.
No.
He's like, whenever you get a chance, just true it and build it. So we blueprint that action.
Yeah.
And then put whatever. That's the 24-inch, 22 Creedmoor I just finished.
Really?
Was on one of those, yeah. You got a 220
That's
Swift coming
freaking
up.
awesome.
300 Norma. I mean,
His son's gonna have them all.
yeah. His son, they wanted to see if he could shoot the Norma, so I brought mine over to the range, and a little guy, he's 8 years old, and but he can shoot, and he kills some good deer too, and we put him at 300, and he center punched that steel deer target.
Yeah.
So what'd you think? He says it's not bad. It's got a 419 Hellfire and stuff, and he's like, it's not that bad. And I said, okay, you want to go to 500? He's like, I never shot at 500 before. I said, well, you about to.
Yeah.
So I dialed it to 500 and got him in it and settled him in and punched it. His dad said, yeah, we're going to build one of those.
Yeah.
I said, okay.
See, I feel like Maniacal Arms needs to have just a range day and go, okay, here's this gun. And then, oh, yeah, we're going to build that gun.
Yeah.
Oh, no, here, build it. No, now I want that one.
It tickles me because I've had guys come in that have built stuff and bring their wife with them or whatever and go to the range to shoot what they got built.
Right.
And their wife's standing there. I'm like, well, hey, you want to shoot this? And we always put them at 500. And they're like, that's way down there. And
That's
I'm like,
5 football
like,
fields.
You can do that, And then they sit down. Of course, women always shoot good.
They always shoot better. Yeah.
They always shoot better, especially at the beginning. And they always ping, and then you see them light up, and I'm like, that right there.
Yeah.
I did that for one guy, and now he's built 2 rifles for his wife because she's going to matches with him and stuff,
Dude, that's cool.
It's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's a good way to spend time with the family, too.
It is. It is. Yeah. Yeah. I always hear Chris's stories about traveling the country with his family shooting matches and stuff, and he said it was like the best time of my life. He goes, it was awesome. We were all together doing something we loved.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good way to do it.
Yeah, mine used to sit and cheerlead for me at matches, but she didn't want to shoot. Too much pressure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She'd probably do F class would be okay for her. It's a little more mellow.
It's mellow.
But PRS, she was like, absolutely not. No way.
We told her to go watch an NRL. Jeez. The wheels come off. Yard sale everywhere. All right. I think that's it. We'll have you back because,
absolutely.
Once I start putting all of the stuff together and we build it, we'll get back on here and show it.
Right on.
All right. Gun Talk Hunters, you know what to do. Keep those barrels pointing in a safe direction.